Hi, I'm Hazel, and this is a quick overview of the bosses in the Arcway as they appear on the Legion Alpha. The Arcway is a 5-boss dungeon coming in Legion, where you'll explore a winding network of tunnels sprawling beneath Suramar. I'll go over the bosses in the order that my group fought them, but the dungeon layout may allow for alternate routes. General Xakal is a big old felguard that might remind you of Fel Lord Zakuun or your friendly local demo lock pet. His abilities are heavy-hitting, but generally pretty easy to avoid. Fel Fissure opens a rift at a random player's location which you'll want to move out of. If you haven't scooted within 3 seconds, it'll erupt to deal big damage and form a Fel Spire, so just move your butt. Shadow Slash creates a wave of purple energy that shoots out from the boss and should be avoided. Dread Felbats will come help out Xakal by harassing your party with Bombardment and Thirst for Blood. Keep at least a 5-yard spread to avoid extra damage from Bombardment and kill the bats as fast as you can. Wicked Slam deals damage to all players and knocks them back, so don't stand in front of a Fel Fissure. The fissures don't despawn, so this will get harder as the fight goes on. Nal'tira looks kind of like an arcane Nerubian, and she has some very nasty trash in her room before you fight her. You can't pull this stuff too carefully, so take your time. Once you've actually engaged her, the fight isn't too bad. Blink Strikes will teleport the boss to a ranged player and start attacking players in front of her over 2.5 seconds. You can and should move out of that, and staying generally spread through the whole fight is a good call. She'll spit nether venom at random players' feet, which should be avoided. For Tangled Web, Nal'tira grips players in and connects them with a web that does damage over time. Run away from other webbed players to snap the web, just like the chains on Zul'Harak if you did Hellfire Citadel. Corstilax is a big old maintenance robot just trying to fix some breaches in the Arcway until we come along to ruin his day. He'll cast Suppression Protocol, which fires missiles at players and does damage within 6 yards. Spread out and run around to avoid the missiles. Quarantine will trap a player in a crystal, which you can click on to channel for a second to release them. Quarantine does pretty heavy damage, so get your friends out right away. Energy Burst applies stacks of Nightwell energy to players and creates pools that players can enter to gain more stacks of Nightwell energy if they desire. The debuff will give you 15% haste per stack, but too many stacks will get you in trouble with Cleansing Force. Cleansing Force pulls players towards the boss and removes 1 stack of Nightwell energy every 2 seconds for 8 seconds. If you still have stacks after all that, you'll be stunned for 12 seconds. Basically, get up to 4 stacks if you want to for a big haste buff, but be careful not to get 5 or you'll have a bad day. Ivenir is more or less just some Nightboard dude who's been hanging out down here. He'll cast Volatile Magic, which marks players and explodes for AoE damage on them after 6 seconds. If you get this on you, step away from your friends or go stand on them if you're evil like that. Nether Link links 3 random players together and pushes them apart from each other. When it expires, a pool of fire is created in the space between them, so run towards each other and try to leave the fire in a decent spot. Overcharge mana stacks up as haste and damage done. You can and should kick this, or he's going to get out of control pretty quickly. As long as your group is interrupting that, Ivenir should go down pretty easily. Advisor Vandros is the final boss, and as of the time we fought him, he desperately needed tuning. It's a long and hectic fight filled with stuff that's going to explode on you, so keep your eyes open. Accelerating Blast is interruptible and gives the boss a stacking haste and damage buff. It's the only thing you need to kick, so set up a kick rotation if it's giving you too much grief. Chrono Shards will periodically be summoned and explode after 8 seconds. They look like pretty forgettable rocks, but the explosion really hurts, so do your best to stay away from those. He'll also summon pairs of Force Bombs which detonate after 5 seconds. Those will do big damage to nearby players and summon an Imperator Margok style pushback wave that does damage and has a nasty habit of pushing you into Chrono Shards. Use any movement speed buffs you can to get through the wave and into a safe spot to stand. The only redeeming feature of this first phase is that you have this whole ring area to fight him in, so you can keep dragging him along to get away from the bombs and the Chrono Shards. Once he hits 50% health, he'll teleport the party to a point in the dungeon and attempt to banish them in time. You'll need to fight your way back to him through Timeless Wraiths and Chrono Shards in order to re-engage him before his cast ends, or he'll kill you all. There's a good amount of time, so don't rush through the ads if everyone is low on health. The Wraiths can cast Time Lock, which is an interruptible spell that stuns a player. Work your way back to the boss and you're back to the first phase. As it stood, this fight was very tough to heal, so do your best to avoid as much damage as possible. I'm confident that this encounter will see some tuning before it goes live, so let's cross our fingers for that. So that's the Arcway. Overall, this dungeon took us roughly 2 hours, but we went through quite a few sets of Pug DPS and way too many wipes, so that should be much shorter when the dungeon goes live. Thanks for watching, let me know what you think, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye!